Here is the ProMate Model 702 telephone call screener, and I know it may look like, and the name may lead you to believe, that it's just an answering machine. Because especially in the era before caller ID became common, call screening was one of the primary applications of an answering machine. You can let the machine answer all incoming calls and listen to the caller as they begin to leave their message. If it's somebody you recognize and want to talk to, you can pick up the phone. Otherwise, you can just let them leave a message and call them back later if necessary. But reading the description on the box reveals a different purpose for this device. It says the 702 telephone call screener automatically answers the incoming calls with a synthesized voice message and requests entry of a secret code. In order for the incoming call to be completed, a 4-digit code must be entered by the calling party. If the code is correct, the call will ring through. If the code is incorrect, the incoming call will not ring and be disconnected automatically. On the other side of the box, it says the 4-digit secret code gives 10,000 possible combinations. Logically enough, it can range from quadruple 0 to quadruple 9. It has simple one-touch on-off system operation. It has a self-test mode to predetermine if the system is operating properly, and a blinking screen LED allows user to visually see incoming calls. I have no idea when it was made, but it's still in the original box and looks like it has never been used. You get the device itself, a telephone cable, the AC adapter, and a user's manual, which promises that it will let you never be bothered again by unwanted calls, wrong numbers, telephone advertising, etc. It really does look like a miniature answering machine. On the top it has one button and two red LEDs for power and screen. Under this door is a set of 4 rotary dials for setting your secret code. It looks like the default code is 8809. And another red LED under the flap. On the back is a barrel jack for the 12-volt DC power adapter and modular jacks for the telephone line and to connect to your telephone. And on the bottom is what looks like a piezo buzzer and an information sticker which includes an FCC ID number, which I may be able to look up to figure out when this was made and potentially who even manufactured it. It was made in Taiwan. Unfortunately, a search for that FCC ID revealed nothing. I did find a Taiwanese company called ProMate Technologies, but it says their inception was in early 2001, and I doubt that device is anywhere near that new. In fact, I can't find any record of this product ever existing anywhere online. No photos, no eBay listings, no ads or other mentions of it in old magazines, so I doubt many of them were ever made. I'm guessing it's from the 1990s because the fact that it requires a code to be entered on a touch-tone phone would block anyone with a rotary dial phone from being able to call you, and these were still in common use in the 1980s. And here's the setup in your favorite shade of beige. The incoming telephone line is connected to the call screener, and the output of the call screener is connected to an ordinary telephone. For making outgoing calls, it works completely normally. There is no change. But let's see what happens when we receive an incoming call. This button selects whether or not you want it to screen your calls. So if the screening mode turned off, if I dialed a number using my cell phone just off camera, it rings normally. And when I pick it up, you can hear my voice coming through the phone. But if I dial the number with the screening mode turned on,
please enter your secret code.
It asks for my secret code. But unfortunately, even after double and triple checking these switches to make sure the code is set correctly to what I want, it's very hard to see those little arrows, but I have it set to 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I dial the number,
Please enter your secret code.
I'll type in 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just hangs up on me. I thought that might be due to the fact that I was calling it from a cell phone, but the same thing happens when I call it from another landline. Dialing the number now. It just asked me to enter the secret code, and it just hung up on me. And when that happened, you could see the flashing LED stop, and maybe you can even hear the relay click when it hung up on me. You may have noticed that what it calls a synthesized voice really isn't synthesized in the way we think of it as being an artificially generated voice. It is a recording of a real human voice, just at a very low bitrate. And thanks to still having a flip phone with a headphone jack, I can give you a direct hookup of what it sounds like.
Please enter your secret code.
It also has a test mode, which is activated by holding down the button until the LED next to the dials lights up. You pick up the phone that's attached to it.
Please enter your secret code.
It asks you to enter the code on this phone, so I'll type it in, and it hangs up on me. So even the test mode is not working right. It will also hang up on you if you don't enter the code within 15 seconds, but it clearly is detecting the numbers I'm pressing, because regardless of what digits I press, as soon as I entered the 4th digit, it hangs up on me instantly. If the call screener was working properly, what would happen is that when the caller enters the secret code correctly, this thing would start ringing through its built-in beeper on the bottom here. It wouldn't ring the phone itself, it would ring through this unit, and that would alert you to the fact that you have a call who entered the secret code correctly, and then you can pick up the phone and talk to them. One feature that still is working correctly is the bypass, which allows you to still use your central office powered landline telephone even if the power is out. The only reason why I can think of that it might not be working correctly, aside from some kind of electronic fault like bad capacitors, is that maybe these dials have dirty contacts on them. So I'm going to try opening it up and spraying some deoxit into those switches. I assume it has screws hidden under these rubber feet. Sure enough, there were 2 screws hidden underneath the rubber feet, and then it comes apart easily, and there's quite a lot going on in there. On the bottom, there's the electronic ringer underneath this ribbon cable. Then here is the telephone interface part of it, including a transformer, a relay, and what looks like a fuse. And here is a 7812 12-volt DC voltage regulator. And then mounted to the top of the case is the main circuit board. And the one thing that sticks out at you right away is this one big chip. Unfortunately, I looked up every single number that's printed on it. I couldn't find any information about it. So who knows, this could be some kind of custom chip just for this device. It seems to have a logo that says IT, but I don't even know what company that is. And then on this daughter board is another chip whose marking yields no relevant results when I try to look it up. But the fact that it's on this daughter board makes me think this might be the chip with the speech synthesis on it, because that way they could use different daughter boards for different languages, and maybe E means English. Thankfully, the rest of the chips are just standard off-the-shelf parts, including this HM9270 DTMF receiver, which is the touch tone decoder for when you're entering your secret code. And there's a date code of the 22nd week of 1991. And there is a Motorola MC14020 14-bit binary counter. And finally, a Texas Instruments LM324 op amp chip, which probably amplifies that synthesized voice for transmitting it down the telephone line. Well, I sprayed electrical contact cleaner into those switches and spun them around a bunch of times, and unfortunately no change. It still hangs up on me when I enter my secret code. So that's the ProMate Model 702 telephone call screener from 1991. A device which had very limited usefulness even when it was new, because you would have to give that secret code to everybody you could ever think of receiving a call from. And if anybody else was trying to get in touch with you, then you'd have a problem, especially in the era before cell phones and email. And like I said at the beginning, most people who wanted to screen incoming calls would just use an answering machine, which by 1991 were becoming more affordable and easier to use. So that's probably why you've never heard of the ProMate telephone call screener before, and why I seem to have the only one that has ever been known to exist. And it doesn't even work. So there you go.